Hey, fans of classic toys, new toys, and whatever I get my hands on, welcome to the Cardboard Cave. This is another Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog toy unboxing. This is something I just picked up, but to be honest, I think it's on its way out. So if you like what you see, I wouldn't wait around too long. You might even be able to find it for a sale or a clearance price because, yeah, they seem to be pretty much getting rid of them everywhere. I don't think it's going to be around too much longer, but it's the Sonic the Hedgehog Eggmobile Battle Set. The Eggmobile Battle Set from Jakks Pacific. That's how you can search for it right there. Eggmobile Battle Set. It retails for 45 bucks, and you can definitely get it for that, but like I said, you can probably get it for even less than that right now, as of the time of recording this video. This is one I've probably seen and just kind of passed over, just didn't think much about it. But I got the Tornado plane, which I reviewed recently on the channel. And honestly, I think it's an awesome toy and a really cool display piece. It's both things. I thought, well, maybe I've slept on these Jakks Pacific Sonic toys too much. You know, what else is there? They're not particularly expensive, so, I don't expect, hobby grade stuff. But that Tornado plane, although it's not that expensive, is really neat and really nice. And of all the ones I found, this is the other one, at least that's currently still available. This is the one I found that spoke to me. Because this is the Eggmobile. This is the machine that Dr. Robotnik is in, at least in the first two Sonic games, pretty much the end of every level. And this set, maybe one reason I passed it by, is not realizing this is not the only form. As we can see here on the side of the box, you got just the basic flyer form. You got with the chain, you got the helicopter, you got the drills, which I definitely is one of the forms I definitely remember. You got with the hammer, and it looks like it can smash apart with Sonic's help. So, top of the box, just the classic Sonic logo. Absolutely love that side of the box. I mean, that is absolutely perfect. So Jakks Pacific does, more modern Sonics. They do like Sonic Prime, which I've not even watched that. And some of the more modern Sonic stuff, they even do from the recent Sonic movies. But they also have classic. And if it says classic, it means like 16-bit generation style. This side just shows the forms in a different configuration, basically. Defeat Dr. Eggman. The bottom is your boring stuff, and then on the back, we see here another form. And we see we got two minifigures, which the Tornado plane, which also retail for $45. So they retail for the same thing, though. Like I said, this one's on the way out, so the retail price isn't all that relevant. You might have to pay more if you can't find it, but you might also have to pay less if you find a good deal. Check your local Kohl's. Mine have one for 33 bucks. So yeah, just check. 5 ways to play with added pieces. And it shows you here, basically, with this form, you can transform in all these different things. Hit to explode, it says. All right, so let's dig into it. I've just cut the tape on the bottom. Nope, it's on the side on this one. On one of the side, on this side, I cut the tape. There we go. But nothing's been removed. The box size is extremely similar to the Tornado plane, which is to say pretty stinking big. And that's because the toy inside is also pretty big. So there we go. Let's see. Oh, looks like Dr. Robotnik's fallen loose here. But most everything is tied down, just like with the Tornado plane, which I appreciate. Here's Sonic. He's tied down. And I believe he does have a different facial expression than the one on the Tornado plane. And I do not have Dr. Eggman, aka Dr. Robotnik, from Jakks Pacific, so that's cool. Okay, and here we got the actual Eggmobile itself. Of course, we'll take a look at it. Okay, it's just wrapped in plastic, so it's not tied down. But everything else is tied down. The huge helicopter propeller, the base, and a lot of different things. So, we're going to take a break here. We're going to cut these out of the tray and take a look at everything. And I wanted to do a quick edit here before I put this thing together, just to show you how many different parts it comes with. So here's the main Eggmobile itself. By the way, I don't see any stickers at all on this. Everything that's here is painted. So here's the main Eggmobile itself. And then all these parts. Here's the stand and the arm, Sonic and Dr. Eggman, and then all these accessories. It just comes with a lot of stuff in that box. And it all feels pretty reasonable quality. Like, nothing feels super cheap. I mean, it's a plastic toy, but nothing feels junky. So yeah, we're going to put it together, but I just wanted to show you just how much stuff we're talking about here. All right, here we go. Here's the Eggmobile in one of its several possible configurations. 5 possible configurations. This is the Egg Digger, straight from Sonic 2. This is the boss from the Mystic Cave Zone, which is easily one of my favorite zones in the whole game. And of course I have him up on the stand now. I believe he was mostly on the ground more in that boss fight, but you can take him off the stand if you want to. Although he obviously won't stand as well. So there's a lot to talk about here. I don't know if I'm going to switch out to all the configurations, but I'm going to show you at least a couple of them. So first of all, the Sonic figure, to start there. He is a different one than the one that came in the Tornado plane. And it might be because this set was from 2022 and the Tornado plane's brand new. But I appreciate it because he's different. And actually, here's the one that comes in the brand new Ocean Oil Zone, which is identical to the one that comes in the Tornado plane. Basically, a more furrowed brow, a more serious look, more attitude, a shinier belly maybe. The hands are the grippy hands, but a different looking face, so that's cool. You might have a Sonic like this, but I did not have one just like this, so that's nice. And then Dr. Robotnik, Eggman himself, if I can get him out of this for a minute. I did not have, so he is really cool to me. And these are the 2.5-inch line. You know, Jakks Pacific has like the bigger 4-inch figures, and they have some that are even bigger than that. But this is the 2.5-inch line that most of the play sets, if not all the play sets, seem to use. The Tornado plane uses the same scale, so these are both the same scale. Anyways, he's a ball, basically, and that's perfect. That's perfect for the old games. I love the shine on his glasses that they, you know, it's just paint. It's not actual shine, but it looks cool. His massive mustache, his little red sausage nose, and just his round body. These figures have basically the basic articulation, but it's enough. Arms, his hands don't rotate, I don't think. The arms, his head do anything? I don't think his head does. But he does, his legs do bend so he can get in a sitting position. Sonic's head does move. He's got a little more going on. And then arms and legs. But yeah, we're going to go and put Dr. Robotnik Eggman back in here in the seating position. As far as assembly, well, it's pretty easy once you know what to do. And really, it just depends which setup you're going to go with. We went with this one because it's one of the most iconic to me, the Egg Digger from Sonic 2 Mystic Cave Zone. But for example, if you're doing the Wrecking Ball, which is originally in the very first original Sega Genesis Sonic game, or Sega Mega Drive if you're not in North America, it's just the base Eggmobile with none of the stuff added on it, and then the Wrecking Ball. So if you want to go simple. But as far as assembly, this base here, again, everything's painted, there's no stickers. And this arm attach. Then this is all one piece, and it just attaches in the back. And if you want to take the whole thing off, you certainly can. Well, we'll show that later. It attaches good, but it is certainly removable. But I kind of like this. It gives you something to hold on to. And this has some good mobility to it. I appreciate that. I mean, for posing, but also just for kids. It's, you know, it's got some range to it. I don't want to force it, but I definitely, there we go. I mean, you can pretty much point up towards the sky if you really want to. And then also tilting left and right. I like it more in just the neutral position here. And there appear to be screws that you could probably tighten it up if it ever gets loose and floppy. That's a good design. That is a good design for a base. I've seen higher end collectibles with not as useful of a design. But before we do a certain thing, let's just come in here and take a better look at this form of the Eggmobile, the Egg Driller form. So for example, in this configuration, this plastic piece attaches onto the front. These cool drillers, one attaches on each side, and they are totally maneuverable all the way around. Oops, and I just popped one out. More on that in a second. Okay, there's back in. But yes, they rotate up and down, so if you want to go in that configuration, you can. Pretty decent, you know, for the price range, for as much stuff as it come with. Pretty decent paint work. There's some, you know, like I got some yellow paint there that doesn't belong. Little things like that, but nothing too bad. Again, no stickers is a nice thing. And for example, on this setup, this whole back piece is attached. This is a separate piece. And then underneath, this black piece is a separate piece, and the fire goes in it. The fire might as well stay in there because that's what it's made for. Same thing with these boosters. This fire is actually a separate piece, but once it's in there, I don't think there's any reason to take it out. But if you take out that whole black assembly with the fire in it, for example, you could hang the wrecking ball in there. And everything just articulates well. Like the handle itself, but also individual pieces. I really appreciate that about it. Just take another look here. And again, you can attach this whole thing and you'll just have this. Just what I'm holding right here. You'll just have that. No handle. I appreciate this because this is straight from Sonic 2. Like, this little piece is just something that I couldn't put my finger on that specifically, but when I saw it included in the package, I'm like, yeah, that was part of his Eggmobile in Sonic 2. This front piece, it's pretty accurate. Like, I mean, they got the details pretty right, and I appreciate that. For example, this is from Sonic 2. The more simple configuration with just a wrecking ball was introduced in the very original Sonic the Hedgehog, the very first one. There's a hammer form that uses the boosters and this giant hammer, which will actually go into here. And that was also from Sonic 2. Let's see. Then there is a helicopter form. Well, just the basic form is just the Eggmobile itself with nothing added. That's basically all the Sonic games, but introduced in the first one. The only one I'm not sure about is the helicopter. I know I've seen it in Sonic games, but I don't know for sure what the first one is introduced in, but this is a pretty cool thing. But yeah, so there's a lot of old school Sonic love here. But we're going to go and put this back up here because there are play features. More than I realized, actually. Let's go and get that. So, say Sonic comes in and bashes on this thing. And the secret piece is actually the window, the windshield here. So if you're playing, you know, Sonic's bashing on there. That's a button. The windshield is a button. You press down gently. Everything, both the drillers, the front end flew off. Eggman actually popped out of his seat, but this won't let him fly off because this part doesn't come off. If we pick a configuration without that, that will also fly off. Yeah, this all flew off. So that makes disassembly a breeze if you want to try a different form. So I actually kind of like it. As a, you know, as a display, a model display guy, a collectible guy, it makes me cringe a little bit to see all the pieces fly off, but also kind of love it as a big kid at heart. Let's see. The easiest thing I think we could add right now is the helicopter one, so let's just show you that. Heck, we're going to do them all. You're here for a long video, you'll get a long video. What does the helicopter need? Oh, it just needs this without the hammer. Just like a cannon on the front, I guess. that just pops in there. And it does use the back. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Besides, we take off this little piece here. You can see they do snap off. Oh, after I say that, fairly easily, maybe. Oh, God of Moses. Kind of somewhat fairly easily. Oh, okay, so the bottom does fall off. It just didn't that time. So there's a button in here that goes under Dr. Robotnik's butt. You push it down, then you push this. And apparently it's connected to everything, all these holes in here. And it makes everything fall off, because even the bottom fell off that time. But yeah. So the helicopter form actually doesn't have that, but it does have the helicopter blade, of course. So that just snaps in there. Yeah, and that's pretty much that. We could put Dr. Robotnik in there if we wanted to. There's really nothing to fly off of this one, though, because the helicopter blade's not going to fly off. So yeah, there's really no pieces except for Dr. Robotnik himself that would fly out there. But there is the helicopter form. And we're straightening it out a little bit. It's nice how easy that is to straighten, to maneuver. It's a pretty cool look. We can put Dr. Robotnik in there to show you. And he does fit in there well. I kind of got his hands outside, but they will also go inside. So there's that one. All right. And from here, we're close to just having the basic form. So let's just take that off. Let's see. Actually, the basic form doesn't have anything. So let's go on to the hammer. The hammer next. So for the hammer, we need the hammer. And then this piece we'll add the hammer onto. Just snaps in there. There we go. Everything snaps very securely. You got to push just to the point of wondering if you're pushing too hard, but not past that point. And then this will snap in here. And these pieces, the sides and the front and the bottom, snap in so easily because they're meant to launch out. For example, here's this piece. Let's see if I can get to focus here. It's springy. So those are meant to launch out. So they do go in very easily. And everything articulates very well. This actually seems a little too loose to hold, unless I did that upside down. I honestly may have. I don't think I did. Let's see. You can. Okay, so you can do it more up like that. So yeah, there's like the hammer form, but that's not the final form. Once you have it to that point, it kind of lets itself down. Anyways, let's put the rest of the hammer form on here. And that would be these. Yeah, that's all that's left for the hammer form, I believe. Yep. So just stick those in there. Oh, like these have grooves. They do go in a certain way. But then once they're in there, you can rotate them at free will. So that's pretty nice. I would say kids need to be careful they're doing it the right way, but it also doesn't feel like it's just going to fall apart. It feels pretty good for a plastic toy, you know? It's not a metal heavy duty thing, but it feels reasonably sturdy for what it is. So yeah, that's the hammer form. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I tighten it. I'm going to try it right now because I think I have a screwdriver right here. This is the kind of thing you come to the cardboard cave for. To me, this is falling too easily, so I'm just going to see if I can tighten it a little bit. There, let's try that. Yes, it worked. In fact, I over-tightened it. Let's loosen a little bit. Okay, there's plenty of hobby grade like figures and stuff I bought that could learn a thing or two from the way Jakks Pacific did this. I was able to fix this loose joint with the, I mean, I understand you can't have a big, ugly screw in action figure, like a hobby grade action figure, but that works really well for this kind of thing. I just tighten the screw a little bit, and now look how well it holds. So yeah, there's that form. A very memorable form that I believe was introduced in Sonic 2, if I'm not mistaken. Zoom in for a little more detail here. All right. Let's test this out. Sonic's going to bash him again. Trying to make sure you can see everything. Everything just falls right off. And you see he launched out of the seat as well. Ah. Reset that just by pushing that button down. And I think, so we showed you the helicopter, the driller we showed you first. That was the egg hammer. The basic form and the, okay, so we got the basic form, just the Eggmobile from the very first game. And then we've got the Egg Wrecker, which was also from the very first Sonic game. And it's one of the most iconic forms. Oops, sorry about that. So, for both those, we'll just slip this off. This is the only piece that doesn't really snap on, but it is secure. Wow, it's really secure. I didn't feel like it snapped on, but it's on there good. How does that come off? Ooh, what was that sound? I'm sure it was nothing. It should just pop right off, but man, it feels like it's on there good. Holy cow. Huh. Maybe it okay, it kind of pulls out and up. Okay. So that's on there good. I didn't realize it even went on there that good. I was kind of like, how's that going to hold on there? But it does. See, this piece, like there's nothing to click per se. Oh, I see. I'm a dummy. It does. It goes in these holes. Well, now that I know, you probably got to squeeze a little bit there and just pull out. Okay, so that's why it holds on. I did not realize I was even putting these through those holes. So here is the most basic form. And let's reset putting that down. That's what popped earlier. That was that sound I heard. So if Eggman's ever going to pop out, this would be the time. So here's the most basic form, the Eggmobile itself, which he does show up in from time to time. So let's bash the windshield. And then finally we have the very most classic, the original Egg Wrecker, which is this cool piece. It's just a hollow plastic ball, but it's I don't know how to describe it. It's a hard plastic. It's not like a soft, super thin plastic. Not a real metal chain, but it does the job. So this just goes in here in the bottom, which is where like the fire effects and everything go in. Clicks in super duper easy. And there we go. One of the most iconic forms of the Eggmobile. And again, if you want to imagine, I will show you pulling it off of here once we're done with everything else. Heck, why don't I just show you now? I think it should just pull straight off. Oof, that's on there tight. It does just go straight on though, so I think it would just come straight off. You know what? There's just no reason to do that. I trust it to not break, but there's no good way to display it. Like, how are you going to display that? It's just going to fall all over the place. I'm going to keep it on here, but for play purposes, if you wanted to take it off, or for whatever purposes, it can come off. Oh, and I did not realize it can also spin. Look at that. I mean, it may not make sense with this form, but with some of them, that might make sense. It can actually spin on there. That's cool. There's a lot of mobility here with this stand, because it goes up and down, and you can move the whole stand. Oops, left and right, and up and down, and then it twists on here as well. I mean, I guess he could fly upside down if he wanted to. But let's do one more crash course. Or if we can get him to fly all the way out. Let's see. Maybe put his hands up a little bit. Make sure he's seated really good there. Not getting caught on the steering wheel. That's going to be part of it. We can put his hands down, I think. I don't think that's what stopped him. I think maybe he was getting caught on the steering wheel a little bit. Oh, I'll show you what's inside. There's not much, but I do need to show you that. So one more time. Poor Mr. Eggman. Oh, there we go. I was a little more careful about how I seated him in there, and he flew all the way out. So basically, I just made sure that his legs weren't caught on anything in there. There's really nothing to get caught on. There is the idea of a steering wheel there, though. It does turn. Wow. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be impressed by that, but that didn't need to, they didn't need to do that. I mean, I don't even know if you could see, but that steering wheel does turn in there. Here. Your steering wheel in there does turn, and there's a little button that we keep launching. So, and you'll notice the wrecking ball flew off as well. So we know that Dr. Eggman can be launched all the way out. That is a possibility. I think your favorite form of this is going to come down to which Sonic are you most familiar with. For me, although this one does not use many of the pieces, my favorites are this one because it's just so iconic, and the Driller one, which used a lot of pieces because that is, again, just so iconic for me. That's the first one I showed you. That was the initial one. But the Egg Hammer is also really cool and very iconic. The helicopter is the only one I can't quite place which Sonic game I remember seeing that in. But it is used in the Sonic games, and that might be the most iconic to you. It just depends what you're used to. So altogether, for example, in this form, we still have so many accessories left over. I mean, my goodness. There's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff here. And so I have to conclude that even at the full 45 retail, and like I said, I was able to get it for less than that, and you might be, if you jump on it before he's just really hard to find. But even at the 45 retail, I feel like you're getting quite a bit of toy here. I really do. And I'm just going to say straight up that I think this and the Tornado Plane, which we reviewed. I do have a hard time getting Sonic to stand up without a peg. There we go. I think that this and the Tornado Plane, which we reviewed, are by far, if you're a fan of like the classic Sonic, and if you're watching this channel, there's a good chance you are. If you're a fan of 16-bit Sonic, I don't think there's any contest. It's this one, this set, the Eggmobile set, and that is what it is called. The Eggmobile Battle Set. That's the name, Eggmobile Battle Set. This one and the Tornado Plane, which we reviewed not very long ago, are the ones to get. If you're, an adult, or not even an adult, just someone who has good memories of the classic 16-bit Sonic games, and you're wondering, what are these Jakks specific sets? What do they have to offer? From what I've found, these two are far and away the ones to get. This one and their Tornado Plane. I just can't get over how much I like the Tornado Plane. And it's the brand new one. I just love the Tornado Plane. And it's just one solid thing, I kind of prefer that over all these loose accessories. But all these loose accessories give you so many choices. Like when you look at this for the price, you're like, yeah, it's not bad probably, but it's the fact that you have so many options and it changes the look so much. I mean, this is just about the simplest one. Some of them change it up so much. You got the helicopter here. These two blasters. And of course you can mix it up. If you want to add these blasters on with the wrecking ball, there's absolutely nothing to stop you. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. It is ultimately a displayable toy, meaning it's not like the highest grade, finely painted figurine. But let me tell you, like a figurine company that sells like aimed squarely at adult Sonic figurines, for something this size, even without the interchangeable pieces, it would probably be $150. Easy $150. That's probably with the discount. And if they included ways to change out for all these different things, you're probably looking at $250. So for 45 bucks, full retail price, I think it's cool enough to display, and I think it's also cool enough to play with. I think this is another, I realize I'm reviewing this well after the fact. It's just about to go out of print, it seems like. But I think it's a slam dunk. I'm trying to remember, did I assign a score to the Tornado Plane? is still my favorite. But I think these two, this and the tornado plane, are the ones to get. And I recommend you go out and buy the tornado plane now. Don't wait for it to get hard to find. If you can find it at Target, it's also $45. Retails for the exact same price 2 years later. And although it doesn't come with as many accessories, it just feels chunky and nice. Yeah, for everything you get here, all the options, the really good display stand that is also very playable. Like, they didn't sacrifice play for displayability, but I think it does display well. I'm going to display this. In which configuration? Well, I might change it up. I'll probably do the wrecking ball for a while, and then do the driller for a while, and then maybe the hammer. Those are my three favorites. As a toy, I think it wins. A toy for a reasonably careful child that isn't just ramming things and wrecking things. Because I'm sure you could break it if you're just being raucous, whatever the word is. But I don't think it's cheap junk either. I really don't. So as a toy, I think it's great, and as a display piece, for the price, I think it's also great. So yeah, I'm giving this. I want to go all the way to 8.5 out of 10. And if that's the same thing I gave the tornado plane, then I'm officially bumping the tornado plane to a 9. That's how much I like it. I don't remember what score I gave it, but I'm officially bumping it to a 9 if I didn't already give it a 9. Anyways, there we go. That is the Eggmobile Battle Set from Jakks Pacific. Check it out, and just for old time's sake, sometimes they don't fall all the way off. This has been the Cardboard Cave. Please comment below, what Jakks Pacific Sonic sets do you have? Am I missing any good ones? Or is this one and the tornado plane pretty much the best? Let me know in the comments. Please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button. I would appreciate it. This has been the Cardboard Cave.